Well, the recent dip in the price of Bitcoin brought out the usual assortment of naysayers. Although I got to tell you, that pool is shrinking, even with the slight pullback. Listen, so many of them have so much egg on their face. Still, they always come out and they always seem to aim their anger at my next guest, who isn't just a fan, but he's an evangelist. And, well, he's put billions where his conviction is. I want to bring in out MicroStrategy's Executive Chairman, Michael Saylor. You know, Michael, I'm going to start calling you Last Laugh Saylor because you always seem to get the last laugh. Even with the pullback, you know, you put out a chart that's really amazing. MicroStrategy is outperforming everything since you adopted it as a strategy. It's crushed everything. Look at the green arrow. It's crushed everything. So I know you feel vindicated, but there's more, right?
Look, Bitcoin is volatile, but volatility is a signal of high energy. You know, rivers, waterfalls, fires, and windstorms are volatile. They just contain energy that we can harness. And so this digital asset is creating tens of billions of dollars of credit and liquidity at all times for everybody everywhere in the world. And it's attracting massive amounts of capital, and that's what's driving that superior performance. MicroStrategy is just levering the most powerful idea in the world right now.
Yeah, but when you decided to go down this route, we've had many conversations. It was really nuts. And even now, critics, you know, I heard folks talking about it just in the last couple, you know, days. Oh, it was supposed to be sort of when the world's going to hell in a handbasket. It was supposed to be a safe haven, and it's not. What do you tell folks who still aren't convinced, in part because it's not a safe haven per se?
What I say is Bitcoin's the solution to everybody's problem. Investors are worried about regulation, taxes, torts, and antitrust. Economists are worried about the deficit and the debt. Individuals want to deal with inflation, and they're worried about opportunity. Companies can't compete with megacorps. Those who understand Bitcoin buy Bitcoin. Those who don't criticize Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, individuals can outrun the inflation, investors can beat the market, corporations can outgrow the competition, and countries can revitalize their economies and boost their currencies by tapping into digital capital.
I want to talk about what's next from Washington, D.C.'s vantage point, because one of the things I've always been afraid of is that D.C. at some point would push back, just like all these countries that are dependent on fiat currency. And so you've got President Trump, former President Trump, who's obviously a supporter. Also, Senator Lummis, she introduced a proposal for a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Explain to us what it means and why it would be so important for our nation.
All great empires are built on productive property that you can defend. And the Lummis bill is our Louisiana moment. You know, there was a time when everybody moved to the New World, and buying the New World, like Louisiana or Alaska, was a good idea. What we have right now is a race to own cyberspace. The future is digital. Bitcoin is digital. If you're worried about the U.S. dollar as the reserve currency, what are people going to buy when they sell the dollar? They're going to buy Bitcoin, and so you should go buy the Bitcoin and wait, because hundreds of trillions of dollars of capital from all around the world are going to flow into cyberspace, to the Bitcoin network.
On the other side, you've got Senator Warren, who I just read is building an army to take down Bitcoin. If Kamala Harris wins, it looks like this time around D.C. will go to war. Have you had a chance to speak to anyone in her camp?
You know, I've spoken to people on both sides of the aisle, and I think that the more progressive politicians realize that there's a digital transformation in finance. BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, and Fidelity are illustrating it with their actions. Crypto and Bitcoin is going to drive outcomes in November, and you see people on both sides of the aisle that get it. And on Main Street, companies need this kind of digital capital if they're going to compete in a modern digital era. Well, again, last laugh, Saylor, and it's just beginning. I appreciate you spending time with us. Every time you do, it informs the audience even more, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks, Charles.